Hello everybody. I'm just getting all of my final touches ready for tonight's live. So just bear with me for one moment. Go up a little bit more. All right, plug my phone into its charger. Bit more. All right. All right, and then I just want to do a real quick with the camera. Perfect. Thought I was getting a little bit of a glare. Oh, you get the reflection. I am using my glass mat today just because we're going to get a little messy. That's always fun, right? So if you're here, drop a quick comment, say hello, and we'll get started shortly. Me. Hello, Julia. Oh, so much fun stuff. I should start by showing off. So this will be the card that we're recreating tonight. It uses all of the new Magical Monarch products that we have collaborated with Brutus Monroe. Y'all, this stuff is really pretty. We've got a stamp set, a coordinating stencil and die set. We also have a new Deco foil that is, I believe, our first clear Deco foil, unless we consider the opal one of it. But it's a must-have. And then we also have, just so many goodies. We've got new toner sheets as well, and it's packed with prints. I believe it's 4 different prints, or maybe it's even more than that, because I think it's 4 total. No, I think it's 8. Actually, I think it's 8 total prints. Now that I'm thinking about, like, no, it's much more. But I can show you guys that in a little bit. But if you're here, drop a quick comment, say hello. It's really actually quite important if you guys are tuning in. Drop a quick comment because we will be drawing a winner tonight by the end of this live for a $35 gift card to the ThermOWeb website. So that's really awesome. All you guys got to do is participate in tonight's live, leave a comment, and we will let you know who wins by the end of tonight. Hello, Gina. This stuff is so awesome. It's like got like that little bit of like the edginess to it too that I really love. And I'm so excited to be creating with you guys tonight. And thanks for being here, Gina. All right, let's see. I feel like my mat is another way. I always compensate in the wrong direction with my phone, but that's all right. Hello, Jilly. Thanks so much for stopping by. All right, so why don't we get into some fun crafting? So I already told you about the products, so let me go ahead and show them to you guys. We're gonna start with, we have the new Magical Monarchs die set. We also have, and I don't have it in its packaging, I've got the Magical Monarch stencil, and we'll be using that tonight. We're actually using all 5 new products tonight. We also have the Magical Monarch stamp set as well. And we're gonna be using one of the sentiments from this. And what I love is all of these items coordinate together. The die cut out the shapes from the stamp set, but also there's an outline die with the butterflies that coordinate with the butterflies on the stencil. So I'm gonna be using that to cut this out today. The other thing with these butterfly designs on top, these are actually two separate dies, so you can get both the outline and then the details as well. So it leaves for a lot of fun layering opportunities and a lot of opportunity for 3-dimension elements as well. So we're gonna start with these, and then later I'm gonna show off the new Magical Shattered Glass Deco foil along with the new Magical Monarchs toner sheets as well. So let's get into it. So we're gonna start with a little bit of stencil work. And I'm just using this stencil of the butterfly, and I've gotta grab, where did my pixie tape go? There it is. I've got my pixie tape ready to go. And don't forget, if you guys are watching, drop a quick comment, say hello, because we are giving away a ThermOWeb gift certificate to the website for the amount of $35, and we will draw a winner at the end of tonight's live. This is not a bundle, Jilly. They're actually, each item is available for individual purchase. So even though I love all the products and I have uses for all of them, if you see one specific product tonight or 3 specific products that you really love and want to add to your stash, you can just purchase those 3. You don't have to purchase everything together because they are not bundled. Let's go ahead. We're going to start with some ink blending. So I've got my stencil tacked down with some pixie spray, and we're going to start with some Candied Apple Distress ink. And I'm using Distress ink instead of oxide inks because I really like the vibrancy with them. So I'm using my foam blender, dabbing off the excess slightly off camera. I'm just going to go in and blend. And I will apologize in advance. You may hear my laminator in the background. That's because it's warming up for when we do our foiling in a little bit. I'm actually going to be foiling 2 different elements. And hello, Julissa. Thanks so much for joining me tonight, friend. I hope you're having a good Tuesday night. All right, next we're gonna go in with some carved pumpkin. And I'm going to be blending up 3 different images of the same butterfly. All right. And I am trying to do whatever I can to avoid the glare with my glass mat. Just with the amount of ink blending and messy crafting we're doing tonight, I thought that my glass mat made a little bit more sense than my, what is it called? The cutting mat that I have. It's just easier for me to clean. All right, so I've got my image all set, but I am going to cut it into its own strip. And I just gotta grab my paper trimmer. And I'm just gonna go like that. And then I'll come back to that later. And then I've got my next color. I'm gonna clean off my stencil really quickly with some water. Let's go ahead and take that tape off. And I am cleaning my stencil in between steps just because I want to make sure that I don't get any sort of color bleed. This next set of colors, I'm using yellow. Yellow does have a tendency to pick up any other color that it's next to, and it doesn't really get super yellow anymore. So I want to make sure that I'm getting it nice and clean. All right. So let's go ahead. Tack this down. And I love that this pixie tape is so reusable. I have 2 little pieces, and it's gonna get me through so much with tonight's project. So let me put away these 2 tools, grab my next 2. And don't forget, if you guys are joining me tonight, drop a quick comment, say hello. Who knows, you might win a prize. Also, for links to any of the products that I'm going to be using tonight, I do have a blog post that's on the ThermOWeb blog, and it's got all of the products that I'm using listed out, linked up for you, ready to go. All right. This is, I got the wrong, hold on 1 second. All right. Sorry, had to make sure I had the right tool. And we're gonna go in some mustard seed. Just like that. And then we're gonna go in, I wonder if I have enough residual mowed lawn. I don't know if I, no, maybe I do. Perfect. I didn't have to ink that one up, but that's mowed lawn. And then this is mustard seed. Perfect. All right. And then finally, we're going to be using some Peacock Feathers and some Wilted Violet, which is a fantastic color combination. I'm going to cut this bit off first. Move my mustard seed off to the side. All right. Finish up with this little piece. Just gonna clean off my stencil. This would also be a great stencil if you wanted to use to have a little bit more reassurance. You could use it with our pixie spray, as that'll help keep it intact. I did not use pixie spray on this, but you totally could. It would be a great one, especially if you're using it for all the little details. I did a project for next week's live. It's already all prepped and ready to go. And I used the pixie spray during that live because I'm using more of a delicate stencil and it works perfectly for it. Let's see. Pixie tape, I know. It is such like a staple in my craft stash. I have to have it at all times. It makes me so happy to have. I keep thinking I don't need that anymore, and I do. All right, going back in, I've got some Peacock Feathers. We're just gonna go from the top down. All right. Hello, Heather. Thanks so much for stopping by. What kind of rug am I using? And I apologize, Julie. Do you mean something other than a rug? Do you mean rag? Oh, if you mean rag, that's just a microfiber towel. You can get them, I mean, gosh, you can get microfiber towels so many places. Some craft stores or even some online retailers have them, or you can just get a generic stash of them. All right, we're going in with some Wilted Violet. If you didn't mean rag though, Jilly, just let me know what you were meaning so I can make sure to answer your question. All right. Perfect. All right, we've got my third butterfly ready to go. Put the stack of inks away, do a little bit of a cleanup. And I'll go back to these other colors after. Perfection. I'll do a little bit of a cleanup to wipe the stencil. And Gina, I agree. I'm always reaching for rainbow colors, you know. It's a staple in my craft space. All right, just cleaning up the space. Put those blending tools away. And next we're gonna use some of our transfer gel Blanco, and we're gonna go ahead and get some details put onto these images. So let me go ahead, wipe this off one more time. All right, so I'm just gonna put paper down because it's gonna make my life just a wee bit easier. And I'm gonna go ahead, let's see. I'm gonna once I have that in place, I want to make sure it's taped down just like that. All right, now I'm going to go ahead, do the best that I can to line this up. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a palette knife tool, and there's my Blanco. Grab one of my stencil pals and just go to town. I'm going to use a little bit. That should be more than enough. All right. Oops, sorry about that. And then I'm just going to use my tool and smush it down. This set is so perfect with these stencil pals. I'm just, oh, it was a must-have when I was making this card. Let's go ahead. All right, we've got one all completed. I can put this off to the side. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead, let's grab another piece of tape for our green and yellow one. I agree. I use my palette knife just to get the gel onto my, oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart, onto my stencil. But after that, it's just the stencil pal. That's all I need, Gina. It works so perfectly. And I love that they're not super expensive and you get 2 in a pack. I have a little bit residual, so I'm just gonna go ahead and smush it down. Just like that. And then let's go ahead. All right. Set that off to the side to dry, and then we can do our last one. A little piece on the back. The stencil is available now, Jilly. Yes, it is our magical Monarch stencil. It's available on the ThermOWeb website. If you just log on to thermoweb.com, I believe that there is a graphic that will pop up on our homepage, and it's got the information for the new release. All right. All right, perfect. All right, my red is all completed. So what I'm gonna do really quickly, I'll show you guys everything that we put the Deco foil on in 1 second, but I wanna clean up my workspace really quickly. All right, so I've got that. And then, oh, you know what? I could probably put the excess of this away too. Save whatever you can of that Blanco. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and throw this into a bag of Windex that I have at my desk side. I'm gonna do this off camera, and that way it preserves everything so I can go ahead and clean it up later. And thank you so much. Julia just shared the link to all of the new release products for our Magical Monarch collection. It's got all the new goodies for you to check out all in one spot. So you can pick and choose which pieces you want, or just be like the way that I would and get it all. All right. Hold on one quick second, just while I get this all finished up. All right. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and put that piece of paper away, and then just show you guys, these are all 3 of the Monarchs that we have all Blancoed up with the Transfer Gel Blanco and ready to go. These would take a little bit of time, so I actually have prepped a couple of these same colors in advance. So I'm gonna set these aside for me to use for a future project, and we're just gonna go with the dry stuff. So, Right now, I've got 3 all ready to go, and I'm gonna use the Brutus Monroe Silver Sketch Foil Transfer Sheets to put the design onto each of these images. So I'm gonna go ahead. Whenever I open up these long packages, what I like to do is I like to kind of flip the adhesive band back so it doesn't interact with anything. And then I'm gonna go in and pull out a little bit of foil. You know, we're just gonna use the whole sheet. Whatever we don't use, we'll go back in. All right. I love the silver sketch foil too. It is absolutely fantastic. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and lay these down. I don't have to wipe or anything. These are all dry, ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and put these inside my craft carrier sheet. You know what, we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna work smarter. Put it in upside down and rearrange them, and that way I can just kind of close and flip it. Well, you know, I thought this would be easy. I thought I was gonna be like real slick right now, and now I'm like, dang it, Justin. All right, there we go. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab my laminator. And we're gonna go ahead and process this through. The sketch foils are amazing. And Julie, I'm glad that you do the same thing. It just works so nicely. Sometimes that little adhesive strip can really just sort of get stuck on your projects or on your foil, and it can just kind of be a little bit of a headache. So I love folding it back. It makes my life so much easier. Right, don't worry, buddy. You only have one more process to do after this. Not a big deal at all. All right, perfect. Put you back aside. And then let's go ahead and do our peel reveal. Ooh, we'll do it this way. So I can go ahead, start peeling this back. How pretty is this? That one did shift a little bit, but I'm not worried at all because I can overlap. Totally fine. Mistakes happen, y'all, and we can fix them. All right, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is let's get these all die cut using the Magical Monarchs die set. All right. Grab that. Where did I put it? I know it's here somewhere. There it is. See, aren't they gorgeous? I love them. I love them so much. Love that you keep it real. Hey, we all make mistakes when crafting. I believe one of the true talents of crafting is covering up your mistakes. So I'm here to show you how to do that. Don't you worry, because I make them quite a bit. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I am taking, like I showed you guys earlier, each of these butterflies have an outline and a detail die. So I'm using just the outline, and I'm just gonna run it through my die cutting machine for each image with some pixie tape. This pixie tape, if you're not using it for this already, works so well with just tacking down your die cuts. So let's go ahead. Oh, you know what? I was just looking at that and I had it upside down. All right, so we'll get you right into place. Trying to be careful to not put any of the pixie tape onto the foil just because I don't want it pulling it up. And then I'm off camera. You're gonna hear my electronic die cutting machine going. I can't move it over, so that's okay. And I do have to cut these one at a time, which is also totally okay. right. We've got one. Let's do our second. All right. Usually during my lives, I like to do my die cutting in advance, but this was a step that I really couldn't do. I wanted to make sure to do the die cutting after I foiled, just because I didn't want to smush any of the Blanco going through my die cutting machine. I don't actually know if that's a problem or not, but in my head, I'm like, you know what, Justin, let's just not risk it on a live. So that's my process. All right, so we've got our second butterfly. Let's get our third. Third and last. Oh, I thought I was the only one who talked to my craft supplies. I talk to them all the time. And you know what? When you guys aren't here, it's usually a little bit of profanity that can sometimes be included, with love, of course, but sometimes it needs a good talking to. But it does happen. All right, magic. My problem is if I add the shim, my foil is like missing spots. I can see that happening. And then, just catching up on comments the best that I can. All right. All right, let me go ahead before I lose it. I'm going to put my die back. That's the last I'm going to be using of the Magical Monarch die set. All right. All right, and I'm done with the stencil too. So let's get into some ink blending onto our our toner card front. So I'm gonna grab this toner card front, and this is the other stencil design of the butterfly, where it's kind of like a little offset, and the butterfly itself is what's in the toner black ink. So that's where my magical shattered glass is going to transfer to. However, let me show you guys some of the other prints that are included with the Magical Monarchs toner card fronts. So we've got both butterfly designs. They have them where they're in landscape, where the butterfly is the black toner. And then you've got it in portrait, where the straight on butterfly is the black toner. Then you've got the offset butterfly, where it's the black toner. You've got the one that I already pulled out, which is in portrait mode. The other one was landscape. But then you're also going to have the reverse. So you're going to have the straight on butterfly, where the background is the toner, and that's in landscape, but it also comes in portrait mode. But then we also have that portrait mode. I'm talking like it's a camera. No, it's just a card. But then we also got it where we've got the offset butterfly in both ways, where the background is the black toner as well. So you get a bunch of different opportunities to use these when you buy the Magical Monarchs toner card fronts. I'm just so excited to be pairing these with so many different deco foils that we have. They also work with the Magical Monarch stencil as well. Something else that you can do that would be really cool is that you could die cut these out as well, or fussy cut them out, whatever works. You know what? That sounds like an absolutely fantastic idea for how they fit. So see if you, let me see. See how it fits over it perfectly? So that would mean that the die cuts would work. So just a thought, giving you guys a little idea here. Hope I'm serving up just a wee bit of inspiration. All right, I'm gonna grab the one toner card front I wanted to use for today so we can get working. But so many options, lots and lots of fun. And then I will grab a piece of the magical shattered glass once this is all blended up. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a pastel approach to this. Now I wanted to show you guys, on the original card, I went from pink to purple from top to bottom. I'm gonna flip it around just because I know that I said I'm gonna recreate it. It's the same technique, but we're gonna start with the pink on the bottom and do purple on the top. I think that would be really pretty. And then I can kind of rearrange some of the butterflies as well. So we're gonna go with that, and I'm gonna hop right into it. Go ahead and put my craft carrier sheet off to the side. Oh, Fooey, did I put away? Oh, darn it. Oh, nope, there it is. My ink holder. I'm like, where did it go? Okay, so let's start with, we're gonna start with some shaded lilac, distress ink. And then I'm gonna go ahead and grab my blending tool. You know what, I actually think I'm gonna do it on this side. I think that's gonna work a little bit better for me. And thank you, Julia. All right, so we've got our distress ink, and we're just gonna go in. I love that these toner card fronts, that you can go ahead and just ink blend on them, and that white section will pick it up. It makes for so many fun possibilities. All right, set that to the side. Let's go in. Next color we're gonna use is Salvaged Patina. Pick some of that up. Something tells me this one may need a re-inker sometime soon. Which is fine, I have the re-inker, I just have to do it. All right, next color we're gonna do is Twisted Citrón. Now I am going with a little bit more of a pastel rainbow. I'm sorry, I just wanna make sure. Did it freeze? No, okay, we're good to go. I thought it froze on my end for a second, so I panicked slightly, but I think we're all good. All right, we're going with Twisted Citrón. Blend it a little bit with that Salvaged Patina. Put those two away. Next color we're gonna use is some Squeezed Lemonade. All right. And if anyone's got any questions, be certain just to let me know. I'm here to help. That's what I do. All right. With that Twisted Citrón. I panicked for a second because it looked dark where the shaded lilac was, but it's a shadow from my phone. So we're good. See, I panic during these lives sometimes too. All right, next color we're using is Dried Marigold, which is a really good pastel orange. All right, perfect. That dang shadow is messing with me. All right, we're finishing this up with some Kitsch Flamingo. If you have caught one of my lives before, you know that sometimes when I do rainbows, I skip red and just do pink instead. So we're doing some Kitsch Flamingo. And let's just go like that. All right. This paper is so good for ink blending. It makes it so much more fun that it's a possibility and that it works so well. So I agree, Jalissa. All right, we're gonna go ahead, set that distress ink off to the side. I think I'm done with it. Gosh, I hope so at least, you know? Before I go on a panic attack because I misplaced my ink stand again. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take my microfiber towel and I'm just gonna wipe off this. And set this off to the side. I'm actually trying to keep my hand on the toner free areas because I'm not transferring any sort of foil over to that. So it's okay if I get some residue from my fingers. All right, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna grab a piece of the Magical Shattered Glass and I'm gonna show you guys how I use it. I'm sorry. So this stuff is just mind-boggling gorgeous. And I love that iridescent shattered glass look. It is just astounding. And because it's clear, it's a little different than your other foils, because when you use another foil, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna put it, the foiled side, which is like the satin silver side, touching the toner. Well, you can't really tell with this one which it is. So what I do is I just kind of feel the one that's got more closely of like a very smooth acetate finish is gonna be the one that's on top, and the matte side, or the side that feels a little bit more matte, is the one that's going to touch your toner. So this I have to flip over, and I just want to wipe off really quickly with my microfiber towel. And then we're going to go ahead and get it into place. I'm going to grab my craft carrier sheet sandwich. Make sure we're going to use this side. I'm trying to be very careful with this just because it is a different sort of feel. We're gonna place it into your sandwich. All right. What you're gonna go ahead and do next is you're gonna process it through your laminator. Now let me tell you something about this magical shattered glass. And I'm gonna tell you what I really wanna use it for. I really wanna use it as a shaker window for a shaker card, which I know is like not related to foil at all, but I was just looking at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like mosaic iridescent acetate that you could totally use for a shaker card. And I almost thought about doing it for this project, and I'm like, you know what? Let's not get crazy, but let's keep that in mind for in the future. So this will be used in that way. I promise at some point. Julia, this is unreal. It's just when I saw the package, when it came here and I looked at it, I'm like, what is this? It is just so different. So I'm just, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see how everyone uses it, because you think it's subtle until you see it used. All right, so what we're gonna go ahead and do, let's go ahead and remove our foil. You know, let's stick you a little bit. And this peel reveal might be a little bit more subtle than peel reveals in the past, but I'm gonna show you guys why it's stunning. So if you look, I've got all of that shattered goodness. Oh, you guys. Isn't that gorgeous? It makes that black look multicolored and rainbowed. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. It's so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna stop sitting here and just bragging, you know, but it's gorgeous, you guys, and I'm really excited for you guys to get to play with it. There's just so many possibilities, and you don't even have to use them with a toner card front. You can use this with your transfer gel Blanco. Also, I know that the Brutus Monroe, they have their chroma glaze that it works with as well. So the possibilities, seriously, y'all, are endless. I'm also looking at this, and do you remember when I said I was gonna do this in reverse order? I didn't. I must have looked at it upside down. It's okay, it's no big deal. I'll make it work. Oh, Justin, you never cease to amaze me sometimes. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna start putting my pieces into place because there's not too much left to this card. So I'm gonna go ahead, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do it like this, I think, because I want to cover up. Remember, I had a little bit of a snafu when I was processing the foil, and these little dots didn't get the foil transferred. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tuck them behind this wing, and I think that's gonna work fine. So I'm gonna do it like that, and I think I'm gonna do like this. I think that'll work actually quite well. And see, you cover up your mistake, no big deal. All right, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm just gonna start adhering one butterfly to the next. So I've got one in place. I've got my UltraBond liquid adhesive. And we're just gonna go ahead like this. and glue it right on top. Just like that. And do it like that. And this is already, I'm putting them in different angles than I did with my first one, just because I wanted to vary it up a bit. And I changed the order of the colors. So, you know, I'm going to have, sometimes it's nice just to change it up a wee bit. All right, and then what I also did is I used the Magical Monarchs stamp set and I heat embossed the sentiment, "Be the best version of you." And I've always thought that a sentiment like this just works so perfectly with butterflies because of their transformation, how they go from a caterpillar into a butterfly. And it's like truly like an individual at their ultimate level. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just going to glue this to my butterflies, but you're gonna see what I'm gonna do at the end. Because, ooh, I'm trying to figure out how I'll do this. Move these down just a little bit. Put this like that. All right. All right, next what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I finally opened up a new roll of the iCraft 3D foam tape. This is the 1/16 inch. So I'm gonna take off just a nice old chunk of this, and that's gonna be what I use to adhere this unit to my card. So we're gonna flip it over. And I like to connect the pieces with foam tape that I glued down as well. So as you'll see, I'm putting a piece of foam tape where these two butterflies overlap. I'm gonna do a piece where these two overlap. Let's see, we're just gonna do a couple pieces for each wing. All right, we're getting there. Yes, I know this is a little on the tedious side, but I love my foam tape, and I've always thought that foam tape is worth it because I love that little extra pop. But then you gotta take the backing off, and that's always a feat in itself. That's in any foam tape. That's not as specific to this. I love the iCraft 3D foam tape. I use it, honestly, I probably use my iCraft 3D foam tape on almost every single project that I make. So I love buying the nice big roll of it. I nestle it under my desk. You know what? If you guys have the foam tape, and you know how it comes in that really big roll, if you go to, gosh, really any store that sells those 3M hooks, if you have a craft desk, what you can do is you can put one of those 3M hooks on like this, like underneath your desk, but like next to one of your cabinets. Put the hook on it and you can store your foam tape roll on it. I have the Alex desk from IKEA with the 2 drawers on the side, and I can actually fit 2 of the foam tapes, so I can have the 1/8 inch and the 1/16 inch. I have them spaced accordingly that they fit on one side. They're perfect. So little bit of tips if you're trying to think of ways to organize your craft stash. I've always been a professed foam tape and square user. You've got to have it. It's just so necessary. It adds so much like dimension and depth to your project. You didn't even think that you would need it, really. And you can use it behind your images. I use it behind my sentiments. I used it the other day. You'll see next week how I used it, but I used it behind Flock. And it really made my focal image pop. So there is no limitation when it comes to foam tape. And I also think now, we all have our own things and places that we buy things from, but the iCraft 3D foam tape on the ThermOWeb website that does come in white and black and in 2 different thicknesses, I think that the price point of $17.99 is actually very competitively affordable. Gotta fix that one side just real quick. I feel like it is a very good value, and I can attest with how much iCraft, that roll is going to last you a very long time. All right, I just want to make sure that that sentiment know what? It might just be there. Just like that. And it says, be the best version of you. And I've got my butterflies all ready to go. So that's all situated. Now I also set aside some waffle flower enamel dots. All right, let's go ahead and put some of these on because I think they're necessary. They just add that little bit of factor. So we're gonna do the green one. We'll do a blue one, a yellow one. I just kind of like putting them in like loose clusters of 3, just because I feel like that's a good rule of thumb. All right. Let's see, we'll do a purple one, go back to the yellow, and then we'll do 2 over here. Yes, I know I said clusters of 3, but sometimes I change my mind. Oh, I haven't done pink yet. All right, we'll do a pink one, and then we'll do another green. Perfect. So this is all completed, and I just have to put it on a card base. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that ready. So, okay, so while I'm getting my card base ready, I wanna remind you guys that we will be giving away a $35 gift certificate, gift card, gift code, all of the above, to the ThermOWeb website and to one lucky commenter. So if you have been watching along, but you have not commented yet, now would be a great time to drop a comment, say hello, let me know which Magical Monarch product is your favorite so you can make sure that you are being entered into tonight's giveaway. So just one last call because I'm getting my card base all ready and all situated. And by the time that this is done, we are probably going to be ready to draw. And I want to make sure everyone who is logged on tonight is able to be eligible for this. So, all right, so I'm getting my card base all ready. You know what? Well, we'll wait about a minute or so. And then, Julia, I think we'll probably be good to announce a winner soon. All right. So I've got my card base. Now, as you'll look, it's very long. But what's great about that is I can just cut it in half, and then I've got 2. All right. Alrighty. Got my 2 card bases. I'm gonna go ahead and take some of my UltraBond liquid adhesive. You know what, I'm just realizing right now that I forgot to turn off my laminator. That's okay. You know what I also love about these toner card fronts is that they are perfectly A2 sized. So you don't got to worry about cutting. All right, so Julia has Heather Guy as tonight's winner. So congratulations, Heather. And thank you so much. Thank you all you guys for stopping by. I always have so much fun doing my Facebook Lives with y'all. So, all right. So Heather, what I'm going to go ahead and do is check your Facebook messages after this live ends. I'm going to send you a Facebook message just with the information that I need from you. And then I will get everything situated so we can get you your gift card. So just watch your Facebook messages, and then if you can respond to me with the information that I need, and then we will go ahead and get you your gift card. But oh my gosh, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. You know what? I always find myself like that I do a pretty good job with these recreations. I know that they're not identically in the same order. This one spreads a little further out. These ones are kind of going in. But it's always fun to have some different versions of the card in your stash because you know what? Maybe who you're sending it to, maybe it fits their personality a little bit more. And you know what I always stand by too is if someone should just be grateful to get a handmade card too. That's just my personal mentality. So who cares what it looks like, you know? But of course, it's going to look amazing once you use Deco foil products specifically this Magical Monarchs release. So thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I had so much fun as always. Once again, my name is Justin Adkins. I am part of the paper education team. So honored, happy to be a part of it, because there is so much talent to be found on the ThermOWeb paper crafting team and the fabric team, because when they crank stuff out, I just look at it and I'm like, I don't know how you do that. And they make the stuff that I could never do look obtainable. So be sure to check out the blog for this blog post with tonight's products. Be sure to head on over to the ThermOWeb website if any of these new products have inspired you. You can never have enough butterflies in your stamp stash, especially when you have different dies and different stencils, and then you can foil them and glitz them, all the possibilities. And I'm so excited to see what you guys create. I am going to be on next week, once again, for another Facebook Live. You will catch me on Wednesday night. We'll be doing another card. I've got something really fun planned for you guys. And I wanted to take just a really quick moment before I end tonight's live to thank you guys once again for being here. Thank you, Julissa, and thank you, Jilly, and thank you, Gina. Thank you, and congratulations to Heather for winning on the $35 gift card. And then who else am I missing? Thanks, Christopher Allen, for stopping by. Having so much fun collaborating with Brutus Monroe this week. And thank you so much for taking a moment to come on by and check out my project. Was really fantastic. And yes, Julia said there should be a disclaimer on the blog about the use of affiliate links. But yes, if you do head on over to the blog post on the ThermOWeb website, there the links that are used there are affiliate links. For some of you who may not be familiar, what an affiliate link is if you guys click it and make a purchase at one of the stores that the links go to, I get a small commission, the designer gets a small commission, whoever it is. It's no additional cost to you, just kind of supports the designer who gave you a little bit of inspiration. And if you're ever using one of mine, it's only for something that I truly believe in and love using. So be sure to check out the blog for inspiration. All the other designers got inspiration on there as well. I'm going to go ahead and get this closed out. Like I said, Heather, be on the lookout for a message from me very soon. And then I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful week and continue to be inspired by this awesome Magical Monarchs release. Bye, guys.